guys, good evening. I think I'm on about a minute early. Give people time to hop in. Hope you guys have had a great, what is today, Tuesday? All right. I'm gonna pull everything up on my computer so I can see. I'm having to stream from my phone, and sometimes the delay, there's a bit of a delay in comments. So if you do have comments or questions, please feel free to post those. Okay, let's see. Awesome. Okay, I see a couple people are hopping in, and it's right at 8:30, so I want to respect your time, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm so excited that you guys are joining me tonight. So what we're going to cover are a few things. We're going to talk about detoxing and cleansing and just how important that is. Sometimes I don't think we realize the importance of giving our bodies a little bit of a break and helping them out sometimes from all the hard work that they do, really. And then we'll kind of dive into some of the things that we do in our 7-day shift detox and some of the supplements and essential oils that we use to help really get a deep cleanse. Okay, so first of all, guys, periodic detoxing or cleansing, detox and cleanse really are used interchangeably. So I'll probably use those two terms interchangeably, throughout the class tonight. But periodic cleansing is so important no matter, hey Peggy, if you're joining in, please say hello. Hey Deborah. No matter how healthy you are, I promise you are exposed to chemicals and toxins on a daily basis, no matter how healthy you are, and it is important to give your body a little bit of a break. I like to do a detox typically every 3 months. Now, we do this one twice a year, and then there's also another 30-day cleanse that we do that is specifically related to doTERRA's products that they offer. So, we also do that one. So I personally like to do a cleanse about every 3 months, as I said. Now, let's talk a little bit for a minute about chemicals and toxins and how they even get into our body. How are we exposed to those? So we know that we get them through our food, right? And it's not just through buying, non-organic food. It's almost impossible to eat everything organic or never eat anything processed. That's what we should strive for, really, to not eat processed foods. But we're inevitably going to get some of those things into our body, right? And there are two other ways actually that we get exposed to, and our body gets like clogged with chemicals and toxins, and that's from the environment, just things that we're exposed to. Can't really control a lot of that. You can control what you bring into your home, and you can make your home a very clean, non-toxic environment, and that's really, really important. And then the third way is from our personal care products. That's a really big one. What we put on our body, lotions, soaps, makeup, hair care products, all of that increases our toxic load in the amount of chemicals and toxins, that we have in our body. And so these things over time just build up, and I want you to think of it like they clog our cells, okay? We need to have really, really healthy cells if we want our bodies to do what we want them to do. If we want our bodies to perform and function at a really high level, to have the energy that we want, maybe to not have joint pain, to not have gut issues, skin issues. I'm going to talk about all that, but we need to provide our body with the added support every 3 months or so, to help it get rid of some of these toxins that have clogged up everything. So I want to talk about what are some of these signs and symptoms, so to speak, of needing a cleanse or a detox, okay? Hey, you guys. Hey, everybody that's jumping on. I'm glad you're saying hello. And please feel free, I said at the beginning, please feel free to ask any questions that come up. I'll be happy to answer them. And those of you who are hopping on that have done our 7-day shift detox, many of you have done it multiple times. Feel free to share in the comments as I go through tips and things that have helped you, because that's really what this community is all about, is about helping each other, supporting each other, and knowing that basically we're all in this together, right? Okay, so let's get back to signs and symptoms. First of all, if you have any kind of skin issues, maybe you have really dry skin. Hey, Misty, maybe you have breakouts a lot. Think of any kind of skin condition. Maybe your skin just isn't as vibrant and glowing and healthy looking as you want it to be. Our skin is like one of our main detoxing organs. So a lot of times when we have those things like those breakouts on the skin, the really dry, not vibrant looking skin, it's our body like crying for help, trying to get rid of these toxins, okay? So I want you to start thinking about looking for signs in your body and like really just listening to your body, because I promise you, the changes that you need to make, whether it's diet, whatever it is in your diet, or maybe it's some type of exercise, you can really figure this out a lot of times on your own just by listening to your body. So the next sign that people experience a lot when they're have a kind of a high toxic load is gut issues. You guys probably know and are aware how important gut health is. We talk about this a lot. Gut health is key to a multitude of things. It's key to having a healthy immune system. When we don't have good gut health, we can't maintain a healthy weight. That's another thing that a lot of people really struggle with. So I'm going to go over in a little bit some ways that we can really help improve our gut health. But if you have issues with your gut, things like diarrhea, constipation, bloating, cramping, anything like that, that's a sign that you need detoxing or cleansing, and that automatically will improve your gut health just by doing that. Okay, headaches. Headaches is another one that is very common when you have a high toxic load. Feeling fatigued and sluggish, brain fog, no energy. Those are all signs that you really need to kind of take a pause, rest, and reset. Okay, now, let's talk about a couple of things before I talk about supplements and ways to support the body and cleansing and detoxing on a deep level. The first thing is water, right? Y'all, water is crucial. I know a lot of people are like, okay, I'm tired of hearing you tell me to drink more water, but honestly, I have to tell myself that every day because I don't naturally. That's really mostly the only thing that I want to drink, but I have to remind myself, hey, your body needs a lot of water. Our body's made up of about 80% water, and if we want our cells to be super healthy and to get rid of the chemicals and toxins that are building up, we've got to be consuming lots of water. So I want you to think in terms of, a lot of people say, how much water should I be drinking? Well, your goal, no matter where you're at, whether you don't drink any water or you drink 1 glass of water a day, your goal should be to take your body weight, divide it in half, so divide it by 2, and consume that amount of water in ounces. So let's say you weigh 120 pounds, you want to consume 60 ounces of water a day. That should be your ultimate goal. Now, it's going to be difficult if you don't drink any water just to go straight to, drinking all water. So here's my suggestion. I find that it is so much easier if let's say you drink a lot of soda or sweet tea or, whatever it is you drink that's not water. Just replace one of those with 1 glass of water to start with for a day or 2. And you'll see that as you hydrate your body and hydrate your cells, you automatically have more energy, your digestion gets better, you just feel better. And in order to have really good healthy skin, you have to have lots of water. So start there. And then as you notice these changes and as you see that you feel a lot better, you'll automatically want to do more. Then you'll say, okay, well, I got rid of one of the sodas with a glass of water. Now I'm going to get rid of a second soda a day by drinking another glass of water. And that is just really like a kind of a domino effect. And that's how you shift and just make the change slowly so that you can stick with it. It's too overwhelming if you just take on this big, goal and task and just say, okay, I'm never going to drink another soda. I'm just going to drink water. That's kind of setting yourself up for failure. I mean, some people can probably do it, but I would say the majority of people, that's really, really hard. So think around increasing your water intake, okay? The next thing is whole foods, just eating whole foods. Now, some people ask, okay, well, like, what do you really mean by whole foods? What I mean by whole foods is anything, or what's a processed food. Let's talk about processed food. That's probably an easier way to explain it. Processed food versus whole foods. Processed foods are foods that come in a box, right? Anything that comes in a drive-through, anything that you get out of a box is processed. Unless it's a fresh fruit, fresh vegetable, then, it's pretty much processed. So I looked at this statistic the other day and I thought it was like just interesting, but also alarming. 63% of our diet comes from processed foods. 63%. Y'all, that's crazy. But if you think about it, I'm sure it's pretty accurate because we live in such a fast-paced world that it's kind of just grabbing and going, and most of those foods are processed. So doing a detox or a cleanse is this is what I find. We get a lot of feedback from people saying that this helped me understand, number one, how good I feel when I eat whole, real food. And number two, it's not as hard as I thought it was. It really isn't. So this detox or cleanse is going to help you develop some healthy habits that you can continue on. And I promise you'll see that it's not as difficult, as you think that it might be. So another question that I get a lot is, how do I know, like if I am going to eat something, say from a box, like how do I look at it and tell what's better and what's worse? Well, you do kind of have to learn how to read labels a little bit, but here's just a very simple rule of thumb. First of all, if it has more than 5 ingredients, it's fairly highly processed usually. So try to stick with things from a box that if you're going to, choose those, which sometimes we have to, try to stick with things with less than 5 ingredients is number one. Number two is always stick with foods that you can pronounce, right? So, and that's what I try to teach my kids. When you're looking at food labels, if you can't pronounce that food, then guess what? Your body, or typically it's not even a food, it's like some type of chemical. Your body does not recognize it. And here's something that is just so fascinating to me I want to share with you guys. You may have heard me say this before. So what our bodies are so smart, right? Our bodies are always wanting to cleanse, restore balance. I mean, that's what our bodies intend to do and want to do. But when we're continuously loading them with junk, it's really hard for our bodies to do that. We're like overworking them. So when we are exposed to chemicals, toxins, when we put a lot of that in our body through our food, and our body doesn't recognize those chemicals and toxins, it actually has this protective mechanism where it stores the chemical or toxin in a fat capsule, okay, and stores it. It creates a fat capsule around it and stores it. The reason for this is our body wants to protect our internal organs from those chemicals and toxins. But what does that result in, like what we see and how we feel? Well, first of all, people who are overweight and can't lose weight, maybe they're exercising a lot, but they're still eating a lot of processed foods. That's what's happening. If you have a lot of cellulite, that's what's happening. It's these chemicals and toxins that our body's trying to protect us from that's being stored in a fat capsule. Isn't that so interesting? So I always just try to think, if I'm reading a food label and I cannot pronounce something in it, then my body does not recognize that, and it stores it, in a fat capsule as a chemical, or toxin that it is. So anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And in a moment, I'm going to share with you how we can actually break down those capsules that our body forms and get rid of those chemicals and toxins, okay? So stick around for that. I'm gonna talk about that in a few minutes. Okay, I want you to also think about something. As you are eating, always think, you've probably heard this quote before, am I feeding disease or fighting it? Right? Because we have a choice. Every time we put something in our body, we are either promoting, essentially what that's saying is we're promoting our health, or we are causing harm to our health, right? So if you're eating a plate that is super colorful, full of fruits and vegetables, if that's what you're eating the majority of the time, then you're fighting disease within your body, because there's lots of vitamins, minerals, nutrients, antioxidants, that type thing that helps keep those cells healthy. But if you're eating from a box and from a drive-through all the time, you're actually feeding disease, because that's what those foods do. They damage our cells. They can just cause a host of medical issues, acute issues and chronic issues. So just kind of be mindful of that and try to think about that every time you put something into your body. Okay, now, another thing I want to mention about food. You guys, I'm sure, have experienced this before. Have you ever eaten a meal and you just had like terrible brain fog after? You felt so just like tired and sluggish and like you wanted to take a nap, like you didn't have any energy. I mean, that's a common thing, right? A lot of people experience that. I used to experience this all the time until I started listening to my body and realizing the things that made me feel that way, and really decided that I didn't want to feel that way anymore. Now, I'm not saying that I, don't ever eat something that makes me feel that way, but just to give you an example, this happened to me about probably 10 years ago. I was at one of my jobs, and people would bring in lunches a lot of times, and I just distinctly remember this. You know how when you kind of make a decision to change something, a lot of times you really just kind of remember that point. And I remember this particular day that they had brought in like some kind of pasta. And so I ate, it's like a ton of carbs. And I ate, all this pasta. And I remember I was having to go and see patients after that. And I had the worst brain fog. I couldn't think. And I thought, oh my gosh, I cannot even function. Like I cannot even think. And I just, didn't feel well. I just felt gross. And anyway, the brain fog was just horrible. And so it's like I had to get to that point where I felt that bad that I was then like, I'm not doing this anymore. It was just like a light bulb. And you guys probably can relate. There's probably been something in your life where you've gotten to that point where you made a decision. And I was just like, I'm not doing this anymore. It's just not worth it. I mean, yeah, the pasta tasted good, but it is terrible the way that I feel right now. And since that day, I have not eaten any food. I just bring my lunch and my food everywhere I go. Not that I don't eat out sometimes. I'm just talking about, in my work environment, because typically it was unhealthy stuff that, that was being brought in. So I just made that decision that I'll just bring my lunch every day. I'm never doing this again. And I haven't, because I did not want to feel like that anymore. So my point here is food should not make you feel that way. Okay? Food should fuel your body and give you energy. After you eat, you should actually have energy. You should not have brain fog and fatigue and feel like you want to take a nap. When that happens, it's because of one of two things. It's because either you ate the wrong thing or you ate too much, which portion control is kind of an issue sometimes, right? It is for me, I know. Even if it's something healthy, I just like to eat, so I want to eat more of it. So what happens is when we feel that way, when we eat this huge meal, our body actually diverts blood flow to our stomach, to our gut, because we're having to digest that huge meal. And so it diverts blood flow there away from other areas like our brain, and we just feel terrible. We have that terrible brain fog. So I want you to think, every time you eat, you should feel energy afterwards. You shouldn't have any of that brain fog and fatigue and those type feelings. If you are, think about what you just ate and just make a decision to make a better choice the next time. And that's really what it's all about. It's about making a choice to next time make a better decision, right? Okay, so let's talk about the supplements and essential oils that we use during this 7-day shift detox. The first thing, and many of these I'll share with you as we go through, many of these people have started for the first time during the cleanse and then just continue on. Now, some of you that are already using doTERRA products may be taking some of these. So my point here is a lot of these I use on a daily basis, even when, I'm not doing a cleanse, but then there's especially one in particular that is just for when we're doing a cleanse. So let me just go over these with you guys. So the first one is this Lifelong Vitality Pack. It's a pack of 3. This is a vitamin pack. That's how I want you to think about it. And let me just tell you, I'm going to go over each product just briefly to tell you why we use these and why they are. This pack is honestly foundational to health. Now, a lot of people take a multivitamin because they think they should. One of their medical providers told them, take a multivitamin, right? But they don't feel any different after you take it, right? You don't feel any different after you take it. And that is because most of the vitamins, the multivitamins on the market, are not bioavailable. So bioavailability means that your body recognizes every single ingredient, every single vitamin, mineral, nutrient in that product and knows how to use it. See, most vitamins are full of synthetics and our bodies don't recognize those. So then what happens is most of that's lost in the urine and it's kind of like you're taking the vitamin for nothing and you certainly don't get any energy or feel anything from it. That is what sets these vitamins apart, is that they are bioavailable, meaning your body recognizes every single ingredient, no chemicals, no toxins, and you get lots of energy from it. That's one of the amazing things about taking this vitamin pack is that it gives you a lot of energy. And actually, this happens to be doTERRA's #1 selling product. They're the largest essential oil company in the world, and essential oil is not even their #1 selling product. It's this vitamin pack, and the reason is they will actually give you a 30-day money-back guarantee if you don't have more energy or less pain. Like, let's say you have a lot of joint pain and inflammation, because these are highly anti-inflammatory, they'll give you your money back. So that's pretty cool. So that's their #1 selling product. So let's break down really quickly what's in here. So first is this Microplex VMZ. This is your standard vitamins, minerals. It's got 12 servings of fruits and vegetables because for the most part, most of us don't get 12 servings of fruits and vegetables, right? So tons of antioxidants in here. The second component is your healthy fats, okay? This is your omegas. And I'm educating, I work in a cardiovascular practice, and so I'm always educating patients on the fact that it is crucial to take healthy fats. You see, we've been really programmed over the years to think that fat is bad, and some fat, trans fats, hydrogenated fats, those are bad. We should not, consume them. We should avoid them. But healthy fats from your omegas, omega-3s, omega-6s, are crucial to brain health, heart health, gut health, joints, eyes, skin. I mean, you name it. You've got to have healthy fats, okay? And we don't get enough in our diet. A lot of people will ask me that, even if they eat, a diet that's high in healthy fats, you don't get enough. You need supplementation. Okay, the third and final component to the Lifelong Vitality Pack is this Alpha CRS. Now this, in my opinion, is what really just sets this pack, it takes it to a new level, basically, because this is a cellular complex that is designed to keep your cells healthy. And most diseases start with inflammation. Remember I said these are highly anti-inflammatory. Most diseases start with inflammation. And they also start with damaged cells. So what we want is to keep our cells super healthy so that we can have less inflammation in our body and also prevent some of the chronic diseases that we might ultimately have or be exposed to, so to speak. So Lifelong Vitality Pack is foundational to health. So we use this during our detox. And then most people will choose to continue that on, throughout, take it every day. That's what I personally do, is take it every day. Okay, the next thing that is super important that we will use during the detox is this probiotics called PB Assist. Okay, now probiotics, most people know what probiotics are, right? Most people know that probiotics are important, but there are a lot of different kinds of probiotics out there, a lot of probiotics out there on the market that are not very good. So here's what I want you to know that you need to look for in a probiotic. First of all, yes, it's important to have a varied amount of strains. It's important to have a high number. And most products will deliver that for the most part. But here are the things that people don't know to look for sometimes. So it's important to have prebiotic fiber, okay? Prebiotic fiber is what the probiotics feed on. It's what help your probiotics, when they get into your body, multiply and grow. So probiotics are good bacteria, right? Most people have something called dysbiosis. And what that means is an imbalance of good and bad bacteria, where they have more of the bad bacteria. Well, what we want to promote with these probiotics is more of the good bacteria, right? So we have really good gut health, so that we have a good immune system, so that we can maintain a healthy weight. All of that probiotics will support. Now, so prebiotic fiber is extremely important. The second thing is the delivery system. So a lot of probiotics, when you swallow them and they get into your stomach, into your gut, they break open, and what happens is the acid in your stomach actually destroys all the probiotics. It destroys all the good bacteria, so didn't do a lot of good taking them, right? So what this particular one, what I love, another thing that I love so much about this one is it is double encapsulated. So basically, it has a specialized delivery system so that when you swallow it, it doesn't break open in your stomach where it's destroyed by the acid. It goes through into the small intestine, and then the probiotics are released, and then they can multiply and grow, and that way you get maximum benefit, and it's just one time a day. You only have to take them one time a day. So that's huge. I mean, that is super duper important to look for in no matter what probiotic you use. Okay, the next, and if you guys, as I said, if you guys have questions, please put them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, the next supplement, and I take the probiotics long term, not just during the detox, okay? The next supplement, and I don't have my bottle in here, is called Terrazyme. Now, Terrazyme is a digestive enzyme. Now, you might say, well, what do I need a digestive enzyme for? Trust me, when you start taking it, you'll know why then. So digestive enzymes, first of all, it's not just for people who have stomach issues. If you do have some chronic stomach issues like gas, bloating, constipation, diarrhea, cramping, anything like that, you will see almost instant relief from taking Terrazyme. This supplement is meant to be taken with meals, okay? So I take it 3 times a day. Now, what it does is, so even if you don't have any stomach issues, what the Terrazyme does is, when it breaks open in your stomach, it helps your body to digest your food properly and to absorb the nutrients from it. So it helps to break down and digest the food and absorb the nutrients from it. So that, again, it's really, really amazing how much better you feel like after you eat when you take these digestive enzymes. So these are ones that I continue on. Again, this is part of my daily routine, not just during the detox. So I take the Lifelong Vitality Pack, the PB Assist, which is the probiotic, and then the Terrazyme, which is the digestive enzymes. Now, this next supplement is only during detoxing, okay? This supplement is called Zendocrine. And Zendocrine is called the Detoxification Complex. So it is a blend of oils, and there are some herbs in here that help to promote cleansing, especially through the kidneys and the liver. And those, honestly, guys, those are our two main detoxing organs, are the kidneys and the liver. I did mention that our skin is one of the organs, our lungs also. But the kidneys and the liver are our two main ones. So this Zendocrine really just helps, again, our body get rid of those chemicals and toxins. They get filtered out through the liver and also the kidneys, and obviously, out through the urine. So that's really, really important to use this one during the detox or cleanse. Okay, now let's move on to a few essential oils that we will use during the cleanse. What is the difference between the pill and the oil? Great question, Christy. So what Christy's referring to is this Zendocrine complex. They also make an essential oil that is Zendocrine, also called Zendocrine. And then they actually make a soft gel that has just the Zendocrine oil in it. The difference is this one actually has more of the herbs in it, whereas the oil is just the straight essential oils. So this one, I feel as though you get a little bit better detoxing. Now, when we do doTERRA's 30-day cleanse, we actually use both of them. But we chose this one because it had the herbs and the other supplements added into it. We chose this one for the 7-day shift detox because I feel like it gives you a little bit of a deeper cleanse. So I hope that answered your question. That's the difference in the two. Okay, back to the oils. So we were talking about water earlier and the importance of, really hydrating. But a lot of people say, I don't really like the taste of water. I don't like to drink water. I mean, I get it. Water doesn't have a taste, but once you kind of get, actually, yeah, I probably would not when you're nursing. I probably would. Everything else, yes, would be totally fine. I would not do the Zendocrine until after you were done nursing. Good question. Okay, so hydrating yourself. If you don't like the taste of water, you got to flavor your water up, right? You got to make it taste good so that you want to drink it. So we use oils to do that. Now, if you wanted to just obviously squeeze some lemon in your water, a lot of people too like to make things and keep in their fridge like cucumber in their water, or even just some mixed berries just to flavor the water. So, I mean, that's another option. But here's why I love the oils, because they give you added benefits. They not only taste good, so lemon would be, we're definitely going to use lemon. Lemon's one that you will want to have, and it's actually the least expensive essential oil of doTERRA's essential oils. That, remember, all of these are pure therapeutic grade. No chemicals, toxins, anything, of course, added to them. And they're super concentrated. It takes 45 lemons to fill this bottle. So you can see, a little bit goes a long way. So what I like to do is I take my 25 ounce, this is 25 ounces bottle, and I typically put about 2 to 3 drops of lemon in my water, and I'll do that a couple of times a day. I don't do it every time I fill the bottle up because you can still taste a little bit of the lemon. I'll usually refill it once and then add more oils like the 3rd time. So lemon, remember how I said, your body's so smart. It protects itself. It creates the little fat capsule around those toxins and stores it. Lemon helps your body to get rid of those fat capsules and break down those fat capsules. I mean, how cool is that? Flavors your water, makes it taste good, and you get that added detox by breaking down those chemicals and toxins and releasing that from your body. So this is another one that, I use in my water every day because it's like getting a little bit of a detox every single day so that my body is not building up. It's still building up some, but it's not maybe as much as it was if I can provide that little bit of a support every day. So we will definitely, is there a limit of oil drops a person should take orally? That's a really great question. So you'll see different resources that will say, a lot of people will say 26 drops for adults is kind of the max. But there's many of us within the essential oil community that know that we take more than that. If we look at the supplements and the oils, that we're drinking and that kind of thing, I probably take more than that. But that's kind of considered to be, you want to stay around 26 or less. So, and that's quite a bit. So you can definitely drink multiple times in your water, throughout the day. And I take a lot of the supplements, not just these. So that's why, I tend to get a lot more probably. Good question. Okay, now the next oil that I want to mention that is amazing and super helpful, especially if you have a sweet tooth. If you're looking to break, and that's a lot of times what happens during the cleanse or detox, you're breaking habits that I used to think that I would never not be able to eat sugar. Y'all, I love sugar so much, I would be sitting on my couch thinking about the chocolate that I could go eat in my pantry. I'd be like waiting for the kids to go to bed because I wanted to go in there and eat some chocolate. Seriously, it's a bad problem. Sugar, we know sugar is more addictive than cocaine, right? Studies have shown that. So I totally believe it. I would feel like a drug addict wanting to go in there and eat chocolate. So here's a tip for you. If you use grapefruit essential oil, grapefruit is amazing for sugar cravings, and I can attest that this works. When I drink grapefruit, so I kind of alternate these. When I drink grapefruit in my water, again, 2 or 3 drops, this is not, sometimes grapefruit is kind of bitter and acidic a little bit, tart sort of, if you were to eat the flesh of the grapefruit. This is not that way. It's just kind of a light, fruity flavor. But I'm telling you, it really, really helps with the sugar cravings. So this is another one that is not essential to have during the detox, but just FYI, it works. So that might be one you want to consider. Lemon, I would say, is essential to have. Some people do this detox without using the oils and supplements, and you can totally do that as well. You're just going to get a deeper, better cleanse if you incorporate these. So I just want to make sure I made that clear. So those are all the products that we use during the detox. Okay, it's pretty simple. I'm going to go over in just a second some of the other things that we do and kind of what a day would look like in terms of what you would eat in case you haven't done the detox before, just so you have an idea if you want to join us. But before I do that, there are 2 more oils that I want to cover, because what can happen when you're removing all these chemicals and toxins and things that have built up in your body, things that your body are used to, sometimes you can have some kind of withdrawal effects, right? So I want to tell you how you can overcome those. The number one thing that people experience is headache. And I will say, when I first started doing a detox or cleanse, we've done multiple different ones before we created this one, and we just kind of took what we felt were the best parts and of those other cleanses and kind of what was really doable for people. I don't believe in just drinking a bunch of liquid all day long. I don't think that's really good for you. So we just kind of took what we thought worked well. But my point is, before, when I started doing these cleanses years ago, I would get headaches because I probably didn't eat quite as clean then. And I didn't have tools before I used essential oils to help with that. So now, if you do get some head tension, discomfort, peppermint is an amazing oil to use. You put it just right on your temples, along your hairline. You don't want to get it near your eyes or else it'll burn. Right along your temples. And that is just a really great way to, overcome that side effect. I don't really have that anymore. As I do more of the cleanses, I maybe have it one day, but it's just not something that I experience a lot. So the other oil I want to mention, because you may have past tense. I don't have it right here, but it comes in a little handy roller like this. It's pre-diluted. It's called the Tension Blend, and it's also great for head tension. You just roll it right on the temples. Also, like along the neck, I love to do that and just kind of massage it in, because a lot of times when we have headaches, it's from tension in our neck, right? So those 2 would be great to have on hand in case you experienced, some of that head tension. Peppermint's also amazing for energy. Speaking of energy, We will encourage some exercise during the detox, but here's what I want to tell you. Number one, it's important to just move your body every day. That's going to look different for every person. For you, it might be going for a 30-minute walk. It might be going for a 10-minute walk on your lunch break. It might be playing a basketball game with your kids. It might be going to the gym. It might be working out at home. Whatever the case may be, just get up and move. Our bodies were meant to move, and it helps when we sweat. That's how we get rid of a lot of toxins and chemicals. Now, during this detox, we're not going to be like going all out, working out for an hour, pushing a bunch of heavy weights. And the reason is this is a time really for your body to rest and cleanse and restore. So you don't want to be doing all of that, really. But you do want to be doing some daily movement. And in the ebook, we have a 27-page ebook that you will get if you choose to join the detox it guides you through everything that we'll be doing every day. And there are some free resources in there. These are just workout programs basically that are free online that we like to use. So there's tons of free resources out there. You definitely don't have to have a gym membership, to get some exercise in and, at home. So movement's going to be really important. Now, before I go over kind of what a day looks like, I want to mention one other thing. And I learned about this through a detox that I did before we created this one. It was several years ago. But there are a multitude of personal care routines that make a huge difference in detoxing your body. And many of these, in fact, almost all of them, I have carried on. Remember how I think I said this, after every detox, what I notice is there's one little healthy habit that I continue on, that like I take away from that detox and continue on. And many of these have been these personal care routines. So let me name them for you, because I'm not going to go into detail on these. In the ebook, there is a video showing you exactly how to do these and explaining the benefits. So first one is tongue scraping. If you don't do this and you ever do it, you will never not do it. I promise. Oil pulling, many people have heard of that. Dry skin brushing, Epsom salt baths, and oil cleansing. So all of these are ways to, again, help remove more chemicals, toxins, and just detox your body. And they're awesome. So if nothing else, you'll learn some new personal care habits. Okay, so here's what a day will look like in the detox. Remember I said this is about giving your body proper nutrition, eating whole foods, filling your body with nutrients that give you energy. It's not about deprivation, because, we like to eat. We're not going to go without eating, right? So we start out with, lots of lemon water and a warm tea in the morning, okay? Then we do a smoothie for breakfast. And we have recipes, lots of different recipes in the ebook as well. Then we do a raw meal at lunch, okay? So the reason for that is we don't do a cooked meal until the evening. And what happens when we start out with a tea and then we move to a blended meal like a smoothie, the whole point, or one of the points to the detox, is taking the work off of your digestive system, so that the other parts of your body that are good at cleansing can actually have the energy to do it, if that makes sense. We're not like using all of our energy to digest all of this heavy food. That's why it's so important to start out with the tea liquid, then go to a blended meal, which is your smoothie for breakfast, and then we just do a raw meal like a salad at lunch, and then we have one snack in the afternoon, and then we do a warm meal at night. So you see, there's no like deprivation here. There's no like you're not gonna not eat, and then we're doing lots of water, lots and lots of rest. So you need to really plan to go to bed earlier during this time, because you will be a little bit more tired. You'll see for the first usually 3 days, after day 3, you start to have so much energy, and you literally are like, you don't want to go back to eating the way that you used to eat. I promise, because you'll see, ultimately you will eat some of those things. And when you do, you'll see how bad they make you feel. And that's what promotes you, promotes the change. That's what, like the example that I gave you, it makes you go, yeah, I don't want to do that anymore because it makes me feel terrible. So that's what a kind of day in the life of the detox looks like, so to speak. Let's see. Christina said, what was the name of the tension blend for headaches? Past Tense. Past Tense is the name of it. It's awesome. Okay, so a little bit more about the detox, and then if you have questions, please go ahead and start posting those so that I can see those. So the next guided detox will run August 24th. It starts on a Sunday through September the 1st, which is a Saturday. So it'll end on Saturday. So it starts on Sunday and ends on Saturday. And if you choose to participate with us, I will actually, when we get off in the comments, I will put the link to go and sign up for it. And once you do that, you will be added to our private Facebook group, and that's where we'll be, it's so awesome. It's such a great little community. Everybody's posting in there, like sharing recipes. We go live in there for the kickoff, and we're, pretty much going live in there most every day, posting tips, and it's just really great to do something like this with other people and know that there are other people doing it, and there's a community there to support you in what you're doing and bettering yourself and your health. So we would love for you to join us. If you want to do the cleanser detox and you want to use the oils and supplements and you have not gotten started with doTERRA, then reach out to me or whoever added you to this class, because I would love to help you. Whoever added you to this class would love to help you get started. So please reach out to us, and we can we can help you get started and then add you also to our wellness community. We have an essential oil community where it's an amazing resource, tons of education to help guide you through and learn how to use the supplements and oils. So I hope that this was helpful to you guys. Any questions before I hop off? I'm really excited. I always look forward to this time every year. Just any smoothie, or is it a special detox smoothie? Great question. So Sarah, basically we teach you in the ebook how to make a proper smoothie, what the components are, and then give you examples. Like, for example, you'll start with either water, coconut water, or a nut milk, whether it's coconut milk, cashew milk, almond milk, whatever it is. That's your base. And then we talk about, give you options to add in like a healthy fat, the fruits that you can add in, fiber, that kind of thing, just how to make a perfect smoothie. And then we give you specific recipes that you can, choose to use, or you can create your own. So no, it does not have to be a specific one. That was a good question. How do you feel about frozen vegetables? Oh yes, frozen vegetables. Always. Not that I don't buy some fresh stuff, but frozen are actually fresher often than what we get in the supermarket. Now, if you can get something at a farmer's market, then, yeah, maybe so. But when they freeze vegetables, they are, picked at when they are, at the peak of their ripeness, and then they're frozen, they may be blanched or whatever, and then they're frozen. So they really maintain a lot of their nutrients, a lot more than what we find in the produce section at the grocery store. So yeah, I do use frozen veggies a lot. Good question. And for your smoothies, just FYI, for your smoothies, frozen fruit is the way to go, right? Because most people don't like a watery smoothie. Most people like a thick, creamy kind of smoothie. And if you'll use frozen vegetable, or not vegetables, you can put vegetables if you want to, it might not taste good, frozen fruit, then that'll be, you'll really enjoy that, I think. So awesome. You guys had great questions. I'm so glad that you joined me. And as I said, when I hop off, I'll put the link to join. If you would like to join us, we would love to have you join us. So do you add protein to your smoothie? So we don't do protein powder during the detox, but we add things like, you can add a nut butter, you can add, sometimes I'll even add nuts themselves because I like texture in my smoothie. That's just me. So yeah, we will, and we'll give you different options for protein sources, but yeah, we don't use protein powder during the cleanse. Good question. All right, guys, I'm going to hop off, but I will still be happy to answer any questions that you have. So just post them, and I'll be happy to answer them. All right, you guys have a great night, and I hope to see you in the detox group. Bye.